spotlight on local Las Vegas, a gentleman who has basically the nickname, in my opinion, Health Coach Extraordinaire, who will be leading a seminar next week, Saturday, August 11th, which we'll talk about. Mr. David Borden, who owns a company here in town. Where did I go? I lost the sheet. Skinny Vegas, right? Is the name of it, David?
Skinny Vegas.
Skinny Vegas. I got it right. With my skinny brain, I remembered it. How are you? Welcome to Vegas Unwrapped.
I'm good. Great, Phil. I appreciate you having me on.
Oh, it's our pleasure. Thank you for coming on. And I know Ricky's got a lot of questions lined up for you, so we want to thank you for coming in. Fire away, partner.
Well, I got to tell you, the first thing I noticed is that when you shook my hand, it was so strong. So I said to myself, now here's a rather smallish in stature with the hardest handshake I've ever seen. I said, guy must have been a jockey.
That's it.
So
and he was. That's right.
Tell us about that, David. How to throw that out there.
God's got a funny way of doing things, and I was always the smallest kid in school growing up, and didn't find my purpose till I was 15 years old, and I was discovered by a guy that owned a few racehorses, and he found me in a grocery store where I was bagging groceries.
Oh, wow.
After school, and he kept bugging me about how old I was and how much did I weigh, and asked me if I ever thought about being a jockey, and I had no idea what he was talking about at that time, even though I did have a horse when I was a kid and I knew how to ride a little bit. And so he got me to check it out, and when I was 15, I started looking at it and got involved, and I started riding professionally at 19.
Wow.
Fantastic. I mean, we've had the pleasure and fortune of talking to some really great individuals with varying degrees and backgrounds and stuff like that. I will tell you that you are definitely Vegas Unwrapped's first jockey to sit in front of our microphones.
Well, that's good. No, that's tremendous. But because of that, you have to have a good health system to be a jockey. Yeah, I mean, you got to be in shape.
You got to be fit, and you have to be light, and you have to, you know. So
well, Cash, that knocks you out.
And strong.
And strong.
That knocks you out.
That's right. Exactly. We got it all covered.
I'm serious.
So, so how you were a jockey for 12 years.
Correct.
And then after that, you got into well, you did some sports agent work.
I was an agent, sports agent for 7 years, kind of like a Jerry Maguire kind of guy.
Gotcha. Show me the money.
I managed other jockeys at that time.
Okay.
Any famous ones that the public may know? Just
well,
by
I
the
was
sound?
Garrett Gomez's agent. He's been the leading rider in the country for the last few years.
Yes, he has.
Not last year, but he's in California, Southern California circuit. I was his agent when he was like 18. I helped kind of get him on the map.
Okay.
That's great. That's great.
That's cool.
Now, when you rode, any major stakes victories?
A lot back east, quite a few. I rode John Henry one time.
Oh, whoa, I am impressed. No kidding. Wow, he's taking me back to my youth.
There you go.
Unbelievable.
I rode in New York for 5 years.
Where, at Aqueduct in Belmont?
Yeah.
Saratoga too? Yeah. It starts, when is it, August?
They're going now.
It's right now.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. I'm stoked.
There's no OTBs, I'm sorry.
No, I know, but still.
You can go to any sports book here in Bed.
Sure you can. Oh,
it's not like being there, though.
No, exactly.
We spent 2 summers up in Saratoga for the month of August. My dad loved the horses, and so he enjoyed that tremendously. And we had a bungalow up there. It was just out of this world. What a beautiful country.
A lot of fun.
Absolutely amazing. Great job. So how did this transition bring you to the next level, which actually brings you on our show tonight?
Well, I've always been concerned about nutrition and my health, and retired from the racetrack in 1996 and started working with computers right away, which I'd studied. It was my hobby for years. Became a Microsoft certified hardware technician, systems engineer within 6 months of leaving the racetrack, and started my own business in consulting and doing work for small to medium-sized businesses. 2004, I found out I had prostate cancer, early stage, and I was 48 at the time. And that was kind of eye-opening experience, pretty surreal, because I was as healthy as I think I am now, and the doctor told me I had early-stage prostate cancer.
Wow.
So I dealt with that and took care of that, and I decided at that point that I was going to spend the rest of my life to, number one, learn all I could learn to keep myself healthy, and if I could share that knowledge with other people and help them and make a living doing that, that's what I want to do, and that's what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
It can't be more fulfilling than helping people, stay on a healthy track so that they can live a long life. I mean,
well, health is the most important thing that we have. I mean, bottom line, we can have a lot of things, if we don't pay attention to our health and put it as a priority, then we're going to wind up having some problems that'll make us not be able to live some of our dreams later on. So.
Mm-hmm. So how did you get started? What was the first transition that you did into the health environment?
Doing a lot of self-study,
Okay.
and then taking some certification classes, which I did. I became a certified nutritional consultant, then I became a certified natural health professional.
Okay.
My next step, if I continue on that path, would be a naturopathic doctor, which I really don't think I plan to go that far, but if I wanted to, that would be my next step.
Wow.
So what does your business actually do then? How do you reach out to let people know how you can help them?
Pretty much up until now, it's been word of mouth, working with people one-on-one, helping them to get healthy, get off prescription drugs. And with the focus lately since last November, I really started focusing on the first of the year of weight loss.
Mm-hmm.
Obesity is an epidemic of enormous proportion in the country right now, and not meaning it's upon an enormous proportion, but I mean it really is a serious problem that, you know, so many other problems can be alleviated by helping people tackle this problem, that I felt that was a good focus and kind of a more of a niche market than just overall just trying to help
Overall
people with
health. Sure.
Because that's where it has to start with most people.
Right. I mean, obesity is such a major problem in our country today, and there's a lot of different factors that go into it. That you know, obesity and weight control is just one of those areas that you can never do enough for protection and to avoid. Yes.
There's so many reasons, and it's a very complicated issue. In one sense, it's very complicated.
Right.
On the other sense, it's really sort of easy.
Well, sure.
Is to
Sure.
have a little more self-control. But
Right.
if you go back and look at the problem, it's really, we have a 10,000-year-old genetic problem, and that is that we have the same genes that our ancestors had
Right.
10,000 years ago. And back at that time, we were hunter-gatherers. We had to pretty much fight for our food and work for our food. And now we fast forward to our present day and age, food is plentiful. It's not high-quality food, but there's food plentiful, and we don't have to work very hard for it.
Right.
And so it's led us to this point.
A convenient society.
Absolutely. A remote control society,
Right.
too.
Right. I heard a joke today. I was listening to my satellite in my car, Kathy Madigan, I think it's her name, and she made a comment. She says she's not married, but she'd love to have kids. And she always gets these maternal instincts when she's laying on the couch and wants to change a channel because she needs someone to get the remote. So it's kind of funny that we're talking about it, because I thought that was a very interesting line that she had in terms of how lazy or lackadaisical we've really become in our society.
Nutrition is usually the first thing that I look at when I work with somebody. That's usually the first place that we can take action. And then once we get that under control, then we can start working on little things that Dr. Anderson, who the program that I teach,
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Anderson, Wayne Scott Anderson, wrote this program, and he talks about the obesogenic world that we live in, and there's little things that he's come up with there, little programs we can put in place to teach people just little things they can do every day to help burn calories, because every calorie counts. So whether you're sitting in an office or whatever kind of work you do, where you could be in a situation where you're pretty much in a sedentary position,
Mhm.
there's still little things you can do to actually burn calories that you wouldn't even think about.
Well, give us an example. I mean, we sit behind the desk here for 2 hours.
Okay, so one would be, Phil, sit up straight instead of slouching over or leaning back in your
I think
chair.
my mom just chopped it.
And, yeah, Phil, sit up straight. If you do that, you're going to burn more calories than you would if you were in the position you were just in.
Really?
Number one.
Because of the core?
Correct.
Okay.
You're actually having
Having
to.
to hold it, okay.
Another thing would be tap your foot.
Really?
Tapping your foot actually burns. Everything you do will actually
Any
burn.
movement, basically?
Anything will do.
Really?
Will burn calories. And so there's little things we can do. And then the obvious things would be, you know, when you get here to the studio,
Right.
park a little further away in the parking lot. You know. And
I did, and had to
Okay.
climb 3 flights of
There-
stairs to
yeah.
get here tonight.
Yeah, I saw the elevator was broken. I was like, hey, that's a good
That's
thing.
a good sign.
Yeah. So, you know, that's another one. Take the stairs.
As I crawled into the building, you know, I'm
Took
thinking,
Cash a half an hour to get up to
I'm
3 flights.
Serious, wow.
No, absolutely. And a lot of these things, you know, I've heard over the years, and, you know, you hear them in just about any program that one gets onto, like park as far away as you can and walk the extra distance, take the stairs instead of the elevator or escalator. These are things that have been around for a long time.
But it's all about habits.
Right.
And it's the habits that we currently have that don't serve us. that we don't want to try to change them. It's too hard to change a habit. What we do is install a new habit, and every habit is triggered by something.
Mm-hmm.
And even the fact that when you get here, that's triggering a habit to park close. Or
Right.
people that have handicap stickers that don't really need them.
Right.
And that's just basically a lazy habit
Right.
that we can change. And by adding a new healthier habit, the other habit will slowly go away when you start to see the benefits of what it's going to do for you.
So let me ask you this, David: is there a nutritional way, or let me rephrase it? Is there a nutritional solution for somebody who has been on prescription pain medication to be able to get off without going through the withdrawal program that usually takes place with that?
Well, I'm not a doctor, for one, so I
Right.
cannot recommend anybody stop taking a medication that they're on. But the thing is, look at a little further deeper into it. What is causing the pain? Okay, if it could be structurally related, that the weight could be causing an issue. It's kind of like a revolving door. People get on prescription drugs, they gain weight. Now they have another problem. Could be pain.
Sure.
Then to get off, they can't get off. They can't lose the weight because they're on the drugs. So it's a thing where at one point in time you're going to have to find a way to try to get the weight off. Hopefully the pain goes away. You get off the drugs. So
Makes sense. Makes a lot
Absolutely.
of sense because quite frankly, especially for people that have undergone major surgical procedures, and I know because I've been there and done that, and you do get, and I have to say some, because for me it's not a full addiction thing where you're craving it, but certainly you become comfortable knowing that that's there and it alleviates the discomfort. But in the long run, it can't be good for your system. Just can't be.
well, it can start affecting your liver. It can start affecting your kidneys.
Right.
It could start affecting different parts of your body that now you're going to have another problem associated with it. So it's a tricky thing.
That's why I have blood tests every 6 months.
Yeah.
There you
As long as it stays red, you're okay.
Yeah.
All right, we come back on the other side of a break. We're going to find out about Take Shape for Life, which is the company that David does this thing with, and to get more into that, to the actual product, and see what the difference is between the company that he offers and, quite frankly, the program that I'm on. Be interesting to see the differences.
Yeah, that should be good.
Phillips and Cash, Vegas Unwrapped, David Borden live in studio. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.